having animalistic representations in their work because it's a really good way for people who are their culture is strongly influenced by the gorilla. They find they have a real deep sense of pride about this particular animal. How would they communicate to warn somebody and say this isn't your space, this isn't your place, to not speak in my home? I improvised the Who's because I wanted to like threaten Agent Ross, and I wanted to make it really clear that one more word and it would be bad. There would be blood. You know what I mean? And I thought just like doing that, and that turned into like the entire room erupting into like those parts. And it worked really well. Didn't know it would turn into this really big sensational aspect of the movie until I watched it in the theaters with friends. And wow, okay. I'm really glad I took that chance. I'm really glad that because I felt really uncomfortable about doing it. I was just like, I hope this comes across because you don't get to explain why you made a choice. You get to make a choice and hopefully it's successful. But a lot of times you don't get to explain what your thought process was behind doing something, and if it's interpreted in a way that you never intended, you could be in trouble. And I said, I really hope I don't end up in trouble for this and it's not interpreted the wrong way. But I feel like this character, would express himself. It would be a powerful way. Put it this way. Mike asks, did you like playing a bad guy, Baku, or a good guy? So, really great question.
Choose.
I didn't play good guy or bad guy. I just played guy. I played this guy. He's not a villain. I played an antagonist. I played a guy who just had different ideals with a different way of going about what he wanted to achieve. He still wanted the best for Wakanda, but he comes into conflict. So I didn't want to play a villain. In my work as an actor, I tend to try to stay away from black and white. I like that middle range. I like the color in the middle. I like living in the grays.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anyone is anyone thing. No one is anyone to motives, people. A lot of things are means to different ends. And I wanted to have a character that felt, even though it was in short scenes and in a short amount of time, I wanted to feel like he was that kind of guy. So I wanted to have a lot of expression in the character. And luckily, I had a team, a writer, Joe Robert Taylor and Ryan Coogler, who believe the same thing when it comes to for characters, you know what I mean? No villains, just alternative ideas. Ooh, who's this, Jasper? Jasper McDonald? What's up, Jasper? What's it like having toys made of you? It's crazy, Jasper. Seeing that, what's the one with the beady eyes, and what are they called? The Funko Pop toys. Those Funko Pop toys, it's just really cool seeing that. I'm happy that you guys get an M'Baku. And I think you can keep your eyes peeled for maybe something else in the future. Look out. Nikki Styles. Okay, what's up, Nikki Styles? Please say hi to Brandon. He just said hey, how you doing, Brandon? Congratulations. Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday if it already passed. And much love. Bless. What did you want your audience to take home from the movie more than anything? Man, there's just so many great conversations to be had from this movie. I wanted people to make up their own minds about how they felt, about how they want to exist in the world. And this movie, one of my favorite questions and conversations had around this movie is just how do you move into your own future? How do you let go or deal with a problematic past? How do you deal with pain? And how do you chart your own way into your own future in a liberated way, in a responsible way, in a way that is
live in paradise.
In conversation,
I'm in
with
paradise
love,
then.
with your world and your
I wanna live here. Yeah, in paradise.
And how do you be an individual while still being connected and defined by your connections to a larger
whole life
collective?
Whole life.
So I feel like that's one of the things that like
for my dad
I love about this is like how do you
until then. Halálomig mivel beszélsz? Halálomig szolgálom hazzámat, nem?
That's my favorite.
Nincs nyugdíj, meg ilyenek. Nekem biztos.
Sarah Grace, what did you want? Sarah, well, okay. Sarah, that was Sarah Grace? All right, cool. Not what did you want, Sarah Grace. Thank you. Sarah Grace, what do you want? What do you want, Sarah Grace? Robert Scott Kerwin. What connections do you feel with Mbaku?
Yeah.
A lot of connections. I like his connection to his community. I like his connection to his faith. Two things that mean a lot to me are my faith.
Natural connection.
Family means everything to me.
Word connection. Word connection.
Every single
connection.
Sister is usually around me. I think and pray for all the time. I'm part of almost like 200 people community. So my community and my family and being who I am means everything to me. You know what I mean? The women in my life mean
I'm nothing. Okay.
To me.
I'm nothing.
So yeah, those are things I think
that's
Mbaku is attached to.
I'm a simple man. Okay. Simple man.
Ben Madison.
Simple man.
Who came up with the vegetarian joke? Joe Robert Cole and so Joe Robert Cole, and I think like Nate Moore had his own like peppering in ideas about it, and Ryan Coogler, of course, like just the whole creative team. But over at Marvel, everybody contributes. They are always going to the source material, the comics all day, and coming up with really just bold, interesting ways of telling their story. Okay. Megan Pickett, a long question. Okay. What would you like to see in the future for Mbaku? Is there an insight into him that you want to share that wasn't obvious in the film? What would I like to see in the future for Mbaku? I think now that the borders are open, new ideas, new interactions are going to be happening in Wakanda. I'm really interested to see Mbaku, who is such a traditionalist, but such a Wakanda first individual, how he reacts to that. I'm interested in seeing how he develops and reacts to the events of Infinity War, with all these people disappearing and all those cool things. I survived. Open throne. I'm just kidding. I might have. And Karen Thompson Southwell, was the costume comfortable? Pretty comfortable, actually. A lot of people think that it's not. It just got really hot up in there. So it was like 3 layers of costume. So it was like an underpiece, there's an under skirt type thing. Then there is a corset top piece. Then the fur piece is a different attachment. Then all those wooden pieces are a different attachment. And then there's usually the grass thatched skirt that's like probably 10 pounds, 10 to 15 pounds that goes over that first layer of skirt. So it's like 3 layers of things to do. So one day I had to go to the bathroom really quickly. I had to like, that was hard. That was real hard.
That's okay.
What was your favorite set piece? Favorite set piece? I had 2, so I can't choose. I really liked that jungle in the beginning. I went in a lot to watch them shoot that, and it was literally Literally felt like I spent some time in Tanzania in 2011. And it was that red dirt. They like imported like tons of dirt, actual like red dirt clay, and it felt right. The trees looked completely real. All the foliage looked completely real, and I really thought I was there. And then that waterfall scene, it was a mixture of actual big set pieces. There was actually a waterfall in the basin that we were fighting, a big waterfall basin with rock formations, fake rocks, of course. They wouldn't be rocks. But yeah, so there were real things there, and those two pieces were my favorite. So the waterfall and that beginning scene where he falls out of the sky and like throws the was it the MPGs? I think what's called? Changing. It's like shuts down all electricity. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, it's called EMPs. The EMPs. Yeah. Somebody's gonna get on me head about that. I see you. Yeah. I see your shade, and I raise you, MPG, once again. But yeah, the EMPs. That scene where like the EMPs fall on the cars, shuts down the electricity, and like. Black Panther and Celestine and Courtney. I hope I said your name right. Again, I apologize if I butchered. Asking to do. Some actors say they've learned something from the characters they've played or portrayed. Is it the same with you? If so, what did you learn by portraying Mbaku? What did I learn? Man, I think a really big thing that I learned just being part of Black Panther, not just playing Mbaku. I think there's just so much to learn from that set. But what I learned from being a part of Black Panther was that everyone has a space, and that I do not have to exist in this scarcity space or like scarcity under a feeling of scarcity that like I'm a lot led to believe, especially in the entertainment industry. A lot of times you're led to believe that there could only be one person of color who could be doing really well at a time. And then I was just in a movie where I saw Chadwick Boseman, who was killing it and was, the star of the movie. I saw Michael B. Jordan, who was usually, either the other guy, and he's there and he's killing it. Daniel Kaluuya killing it and being a star in the movie. And myself killing it and being a star in the movie. And I just said, wow, I'm in a space where I'm being recognized and I feel like there's space for me. And we're not in competition. We're each telling an equal yet necessary part of a powerful story, and everybody's killing it. And I feel I learned that I don't have to ever think of, my space as that anymore. There's room for all of us. And there's room for all of us in this industry. There's room for all of us in this world. There's room for all of us to succeed. And I just also feel like I could champion that. That's something that I could champion and share with you guys. So anyone who wants to be an artist or just be amazing at whatever you do, you don't have to think there's someone else out there that's, in that similar space that I could occupy. There's nobody else out there that can do what you do. Nobody else out there who could do those specific things. So go out there and do it. Even if you look alike, even if you're both 6'5" and dark skinned, or this color, that color, no one else who's exactly like you, who approaches the world exactly like you. And it taught me, and I feel empowered by it. And I'm feeling empowered to like go out there and tell other stories, So, great question. Facebook says, thank you for joining me today. But thank you for joining me today and for all the great questions, So be sure to check out Black Panther on Blu-ray and digital today. So take a look at the bonus trailer that we have for you.
I give to you the Black Panther.
Good. Yes. Yes. There you go. Estoy en historia, sí, las. Ya.
All of this will be gone, and there's nothing we can do to stop it. Everything is temporary, and we're all going to die. I'm going to talk to some experts, share some history, and find out the truth about what's finally going to do us all in. How long we have till it happens, if there's anything we can do to slow it down. In 1945, just 2 nuclear weapons managed to kill almost 250,000 people. Today, there are over 10,000 nuclear weapons worldwide, and they can be launched at any time. Now, North Korea is testing missiles that could reach the United States.
They will be met with fire and fury.
Imagine a handful of nuclear weapons in the hands of a megalomaniac man-child. What could go wrong? In the summer of 2017, the UN formally adopted a first-ever treaty to ban nuclear weapons. But some countries, the ones with nuclear weapons, boycotted the negotiations. The United States, France, Israel, China, Pakistan, India, Britain, and Russia.
Russia!
It's pretty scary stuff, and I wanted a more optimistic outlook. So I went to go talk to Joe Cirincione, a preeminent expert on nuclear policy.
Every day that you are living, there is a threat that nuclear weapons could end human civilization on this planet.
How many times over just destroy everything?
There are about 15,000 nuclear weapons in the world. If you took 1,000 of those, so 1/15 the stockpile, you could destroy every major city, over 100,000 people on Earth. That is certainly enough to destroy civilization.
Just over and over and over again, multiple times.
Yeah, we have overkill capacity. Scientists now calculate that if as few as 100 weapons are used in South Asia, if as few as 100 weapons detonate in these dense, urban, mostly wooden cores of these cities, it will put enough smoke and particulates into the atmosphere to cover the Earth in a cloud of 2 or 3 years, dropping global temperatures 2 or 3 degrees, sort of anti-global warming. But that would kill half of all the food crops in the world. That leads to mass starvation, a billion-person famine. That's chaos, destabilization, collapse of global economies, a threat to human civilization itself, all for something that you don't actually feel. It happens far, far away in South Asia, but it threatens you, it threatens the globe.
What is it about human nature that made that happen?
Human beings make irrational decisions all the time. Every Saturday night is a good example of it. And people make very bad decisions in war.
Does this decision to start a nuclear strike really just come from the head of state in the United States? Is this really President Trump's sole decision like it is in the movies?
Most people don't understand that the nuclear weapons are the president's weapons. The president and the president alone has the authority to launch these weapons. And once he gives the order, no one can countermand him. You should understand this. At every moment of the president's life, there is a military officer that has to be within 1 minute of where he is. When President Trump sleeps at the White House, the officer is outside. When he goes on a golf course, the officer's on a cart right behind him. And the president at any time, for any reason, can tell that officer to open the suitcase. He can launch 1 missile. He can launch 1,000 missiles. He doesn't need the Joint Chiefs to agree with him. There's no vote in Congress. There's no appeal to the Supreme Court. 4 minutes after the president gives the order, those missiles start flying.
4 minutes. Think about it. If President Trump had decided to launch a missile when you started watching this video, the world would already be changed forever.
Unfortunately, there's a push now by some of these contractors, supported by very bright people in our think tanks, to build a new generation of smaller, more usable nuclear weapons. Our current nuclear weapons are too big, they say. We're self-deterred from using them. Our current bombs will blow up a city. All we want to do is blow up a couple of blocks. So we want them smaller, more usable, so that we can use them, so that we can use them first in a conventional battle. This is nuts. Most people aren't aware of it.
So if nuclear war is inevitable, what's it going to be like? Obviously it'll suck, but just how bad? Every year, some super smart people get together to figure out how close we are to the apocalypse. They put it on a clock with midnight representing doomsday. It's called the Doomsday Clock. It's put together by the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists. After President Trump's inauguration, the clock moved from 3 minutes to midnight to 2 minutes, 30 seconds. I'm going to go talk to the woman in charge to find out why. What are the risks that we could die in a nuclear war at this moment?
The risks are really significant. And in fact, they've gotten more dangerous, or the world's gotten more risky in the most recent number of years.
Say, can you see?
The United States and Russia maintain 90%, over 90% of the world's nuclear weapons. We need strong communications and good relations between the two. That is absolutely not happening. The U.S. is about to invest $1 trillion over 30 years in what looks to be an entirely new nuclear arsenal. And a third thing that we've focused on most recently is a recklessness around nuclear rhetoric and setting aside of expertise, a belittling of expertise. Over Christmas, the Pakistani foreign minister tweeted something based on a fake news story. The fake news story was that the Israelis were threatening Pakistan. In response, without checking, the foreign minister of Pakistan sent out a tweet saying that the Israelis should remember that Pakistan is a nuclear weapon state. Basically a nuclear threat over Twitter from a foreign minister based on fake news.
And I think like a lot of Americans might have this kind of false belief that we're just fine. How false of a sense of security is that? Like how untrue is it that we're just perfectly safe all the time?
The United States is testing its efforts to shoot down a missile, an incoming nuclear missile. It has failed as much as it has succeeded.
Yeah.
It is very difficult to shoot down a quote unquote bullet with a bullet, which is what we're trying to do. Our safety and security has rested on mutually assured destruction. Nobody hits us because they know that we can hit them back, and it has worked. There are things happening now to suggest that that might not hold up in the future. And that's what's so scary, is that it's as dangerous as ever, and we've been distracted on other issues because we think somebody else has been taking care of the situation.
So if the situation is so dire, what can we as a society do to turn things around?
Donald Trump could be the man